meant to wake you up out of your brain.
Yeah, when Moor study our Quran and questions for Moorish children, prosecutors and magistrates hate us in the admin buildings, challenging jurisdiction, paperwork sent first, no fiat, quenching their money-hungry, bloody credit thirst. Trustees benefit when they escheat your estate. That you thought was a provincial state is a big mistake. From corporate plantations, there's no escape or backdoor unless reserve rights on contract doors. Keep eyes open for, like you misplaced something. It's witchcraft when you hear caught and your heartbeats jumping. Extortion, past due letters, fake money, bounty hunting. Filing public records, papers within debt counties fronting to have authority, constitution approved. But those filed papers at the county doesn't stop the abuse. Might as well just put on the noose, shackles and chains on ankles, no boots. In snowstorms with no shame, with no status, no flag, no free national name. With fractional damage, collateral, irrational claims. Catch a psych evaluation or contempt of quasi-court. Calling out what's not in evidence won't set a precedence. Misprision of treason and gross negligence. Denying due process and sharing the same sentiments. On you harder than cement is. If you give them a chance, I'm here to help you not enter their brainwash camps. Keep your neck hidden, no kidding. Watch out for vamps, light revealer, and keeper won't keep casting the lamps. Always giving without expecting thanks. In a b-boy stance, scimitar swinging at outstretched hands.
My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash.
Yo, they run on a fraud with elegance, lower self-elements. Get the gentleness stomp of Hannibal Alp elephants. Taking back our settlements, induce relevant resonance. In full life, ancestral mind, no artificial intelligence. Men turn bionic, high off the seedless hydroponic. Thinking they on it, but what they on it must be demonic. Not Baphomet, Moroccan star on his head. Crescent moons of Islam, he uses caduceus from Kemet. Sitting in meditation, goatee like a Rasta. Raised Kundalini light bursts out the crown chakra. Volcanic viewed HD and panoramic. No ayahuasca root, seeing signs and symbols automatic. Dinner plate eyes, cause mine's so wide open. Maybe an omen, can't see truth cause your third eye's swollen. And it's not going down no matter what spell's spoken. Or your devotion or golden potent potion. Can't even use water frozen, Moorish shogun. Says the calcifying chambers now rest in the bottom of oceans. Left hoping, false prophet quoting and chasing. Minds under control like lasers for steel engraving. Mental blocks and thought barricades, the real enslaving. No cape, no type, no dynamic duo when I'm saving. With heads locked, pop brainwash, don't think I'm breaking or b-boying. Hood scholars, very annoying. With hillbilly sovereigns, knowledge hee-hawing. Being sold out by my owners, what has me warring?
My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash. My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up. My attack is purely mental. Wake you up out of your brainwash. It's purely mental. Wake you up. My attack is purely mental and its nature's not fit. It's meant to wake you up out of your brainwash.
These guys not ready. Islam, Moors, peace and love. We're here once again. Islam to you all. Of course, honors to Noble Juali, the Prophet. You know what I mean, doing the big work that he did to get us back into our nationality and birthrights. We realize, as studious Moors, that there's been an obvious campaign. There's been an obvious campaign to make anything having to do with Moors something that people who have nothing to do with Moors, that look like Moors, are going to say, nah, they don't want to deal with that. And then that's it. That's the whole point of all this stuff going on right now. Even though they'll put it on the record to let you know that everybody knows what's up, but you're playing around. Everybody knows what's going down. Yassine Bey came up, told y'all what's going down, corrected on the record. Don't call me most deaf no more. Why are you doing that for? Just because he feels like it? No, because everybody is realizing that they got birthrights around here. And you're not going to treat me like some nigger or whatever just because you feel like it. Because this is our estate. We're not black. We're not African. We're Moors. Michael Jackson did it, killed him. Prince did it, even went back to the Ankh, a Moor with an Ankh as his symbol. People playing games. Want to listen to people in feathers trying to make them move away from this while everybody's running towards this. How are you running against? Everybody's running in one direction. All the animals said, yo, you know what, let's get to the hills. And everybody's running to see how far out into the sea they can walk because there's no water there. So you can keep following the people, right, out into the ocean seabed. Because, well, what? I don't know what's going on, but there's no water here. So let's just walk out here and see what's going on. Everybody. And remember, this is prophecy. This is prophecy. Nobody already told Moors, every knee's going to bow to Islam. What's Islam? I saw Flaw Master. Not some BS running around and praying and all that stuff. For Moors. If other people want to do that, that's cool. That's up to them. You have a right to a religion. Not even hating. But we know that none of these people right here, based on how they're dressing, don't come from Saudi Arabia. They're not from Saudi Arabia. How come they're dressing like people from Saudi Arabia? Or are the people from Saudi Arabia dressing like some people who don't know what their birthright is? And again, people finding out. Nick Cannon went on Breakfast Club and told people the turban is Moorish. I don't know what the hell you guys talking about. And people play their little game. They don't know what's going on. And then you have Moors, Moorish Americans, trying to make it seem like the ones that you see on the bus and the ones that you see you just see a fez make you run up to a dude, hey, who are you? I seen that red hat on YouTube or whatever like that. Okay, there's Moors who want you to not look at those people because they want you to think that the people who are out in the world being Moors, oh, they're doing stuff anti-government and they're renegade and they're going to get you arrested and killed and stuff like that. If you have any common sense, being black got you killed. And you did nothing about it for years upon years upon years upon years. Still today, not doing nothing about it. So don't worry about being a Moor and getting killed. Because Chinese gets killed by police or whatever. All the other Chinese are, well, I'm not going to be that because, you know, you got killed by police, so we're going to call ourselves something different. They're still who they are. Why? Because they have a nationality. And only incompetent people jump around. Only incompetent people jump around and aren't on a path. Right? So Islam to our matriarchal inspiration for all the other matriarchs, Korean Gaines, who stood up because you're just tired of BS. Just like Harriet Tubman was tired of BS and said, we're getting off this plantation, let's go. Real, it's not. Just like Sojourner Truth. Just like Rosa Parks said, I'm sitting in the front, I don't care what you guys do. But how come you guys aren't going at those people for standing up for their right to whatever? All these people who got lynched or whatever, that were standing up for something, you know, they're right as people. You're not gonna just put me on the trees and stuff like that, put the guy on the tree, and nothing from the naysayers. But she was an example. And again, use your goddamn common sense. Right? We know for a fact that the mothers are under severe, supreme psychological trauma from generations before them. So sometimes they're going to do things that might not be to your liking because, you know, you're supposed to be dressed proper and skirt down to the goddamn floor. But she was an example if you use your goddamn common sense. And we're going to go to some Europeans. We're going to go to some Europeans. Because, you know, everybody wants to find out what black people said about Korean Gaines and what black people said about this guy getting killed and what did Moors say about whatever. I don't know, ain't nobody talking to other people? There's other people around here. Clearly, this is a multicultural society, so for people's mindset to be only taking one perspective, again, it shows you. Watch, you better go study. Stop listening to people. The only way you're listening to people is because they're giving you a reference point for you to go study. Other than that, don't listen to anybody. If they're not giving you a reference point to go study, don't listen to them. Period. Right? No, we're European now. It's a European. And keep in mind how certain Moors talk against Moors that stand up for their right. First line. This incident stemmed from a traffic stop that led to Gaines' arrest in March, which she recorded. She had previously complained about police harassment and had one misdemeanor on her criminal record. Misdemeanor. So she didn't have nothing. Her criminal record was clean. Because misdemeanor ain't nothing. And oh yeah, just to put it on the record, I'm going to put it on the record, any Moors in the chat who are Canaanland Moor Science Temple of America members, you have to be mufti in the chat. Alright? So guard the chat for these people with their BS. And then the people who want to learn, you focus right here. Don't even worry about the chat. Right? So mufti's up. Black Fez, if you got your Black Fez, go get it. Put it on and mufti the chat. Because you already know that these people are going to be on the feed. Because already, you know, Mufti already just sent the text. Hey, these guys going crazy in the chat. Alright, Mufti on the chat now. Right? All Muftis on deck. Sisters included. And don't worry about, don't use swear words and stuff like that here or whatever. That's a chat. That's not real life. That's nothing. That's virtual reality. So you be virtual. You go in the Matrix. Be Neo with them in the chat. And Islam to all the 720 Moors, active Moors, studious Moors, RV Bay Publication University Moors. Islam to all you Moors. So they're telling you from the jump, the incident stemmed from a traffic stop that led to gains, blah, blah, blah. Isn't that the same thing that the Moors guys said? Didn't the Moors guys say that exact same thing? No, but we're following Europeans though. And we know you guys don't check these records or whatever. Just put this line in. 1. This incident stemmed from a traffic stop that led to Gaines' arrest. Just put that in Google and all the stuff's going to come up. Right? So they said that there's 5 things that people should consider. 5 things that people should consider when looking at this situation with Corn Gaines and all this, right? Let's go in brief, but just go read the stuff. Everyone lawfully within the territory of a state shall, within that territory, have the right to liberty of movement and freedom to choose his residence. Off the jump. They're not talking about she asked for delegation of authority or why'd she do that and all that stuff. Off the top, they said, yo, people have the right to liberty. Where'd they get that from? Oh, Constitution. Same thing that Noble Drew Ali said enforce, which is what these Moors who you see on the bus and at the mall, and then you just go somewhere, you see a fez, and you're like, hey, there's a Moor. And you go talk to him. All right. All those people, that they have a right to wear their fez outside Moor Science Temple. And for somebody to say they can't, or tell them they have to dress a certain way to come in there, don't even go there. Leave immediately. Because that's just another slave auction block. Just for people with fezzes. 2. Everyone shall be free to leave any country, including his own. There's just some Europeans out there that have a website that address stuff going on, and the Corn Gaines situation was interesting to them, so they wrote about it on their site. The above mentioned rights shall not be subject to any restrictions except those which are provided by law, are necessary to protect national security, public order, public health, or morals, or the rights and freedoms of others, and are consistent with other rights recognized in the present covenant. Covenant obligation, covenant agreement, covenant contract. What contract? Oh yeah, same contract we talk about, Constitution. Which when you read that, it tells you, oh yeah, don't forget also the treaties before this are part of this. Let's go read the Constitution. Because remember, the studious Moors give you a reference point. You don't have to prove anything. Information's out there like they never did a book burning. Information out there like they never ever did a book burning. People listening to fools, telling them BS. No one shall be arbitrarily deprived of the right to enter his own country. Facebook deactivated Gaines' Instagram and Facebook accounts at police request as she live streamed and posted video during the standoff. Officers claim they had no working body cameras during the encounter, thus no objective record of the encounter. Remember, this is the same guys that they're not addressing. The so-called Moors. They look at us, we're a guilty party because we tell people, these guys are foreigners, make sure you find out where their authority comes from. Because they're foreigners. Where you get the authority from? I'm indigenous here. That's a logical question that I should want to ask and get an answer to. Just because. Why would I obey a foreigner who in his own record says they kill people, killed animals, brought all types of stuff over here and go what he said? And Islam to Mantis Views 29 for showing you the people out there that are pretending to be quote unquote police, that these people are telling you, oh yeah, you know, they're right and they're the law and their badge is what makes them have authority of a sheriff. A sheriff is an elected official. Sheriff doesn't go and fill out an application to be a sheriff. And these are supposed to be people who, you know, are Moor Science Temple. Maybe an adept chamber and stuff like that. These are people who know the Grand Sheikh, Supreme Grand Sheikh or whatever personally. And they're talking crazy like that. They're gonna go check the etymology of sheriff. When you check the etymology of sheriff, ask yourself, if somebody is called sheriff, wouldn't that even mean that they're the law, not whoever says that they're the sheriff? Especially if that individual is claiming to be Moor, which means they're Aboriginal, indigenous to the land, which means that they're part of some government. It's cloaked right now, but they're part of some government. And the government that they're part of can't be United States. Can't be that, because that's not a government. And can't be Canada either, because that's not a government. Court documents reveal Gaines suffered from lead poisoning. If any of you did that one, check that one. Now this reference will give you freethoughtproject.com. freethoughtproject.com. Apparently, traffic tickets are now a capital crime. I've had to reply to many comply or die types and remind the people of the castle doctrine. Like Sandra Bland, there is something wrong and gravely evil when the police feel the need to continually escalate things until they kill someone. Some of it might be training to always be in control, but it used to be they were trained to de-escalate. Meanwhile, as we tax, fine, and regulate everything, everyone is a criminal every day, including the police, who always seem to get away with it because of their badge. It isn't comply or die enforcing a crime, whether there is another victim, property, or violence. It is the millions of petty, stupid regulations and traffic ticket taxation. Remember they told you to go register your stuff and all that. They're not telling you put it in a trust. They're telling you go register it with the people who are a foreign European colonial corporation that Islam to the Moors under Great Seal in Khalifa territory, because Brother Ramiel Bey breaked it down last night. Got it broken down that these states started as corporations. What we call state, province, city, whatever, it started as a corporation. It didn't start as the land. Like, oh yeah, the map says state is this, so then that's the state. No, that's corporation. And that's where these people are leading Moors. We're not even talking about Negro, black, colored people. They're leading Moors into going into that jurisdiction. They're not telling you that if you register, make sure you reserve your rights. Make sure you scratch out everything on that contract that you don't agree with. Because, you know, if you're Aboriginal Indigenous, you have a right to contract. There's nothing wrong with registering if you know how to register. If you don't know how to register, don't register. You better just hold your stuff in a trust so these people can't touch it. How do you get a trust? This is where it comes in. Trust is a reference point. That, if they trust, what's trust? What does he mean put it in a trust? Okay, well that means that you're going to go research trust. And it's real simple, and the answer's sitting there. But, like the Moor said on the show last night, or in the class, people don't want to study. They want to get told stuff. Just like certain people are telling you go register your stuff. And they're telling you get a license. And they're telling you to contract with an imposter pretending to be the government that they think is the same thing from Lincoln and whatever. When they have reorganization of this corporation that we don't know about. Forget the ones we know about. How much times did they do stuff that we don't know about? Because the stuff we know that they did to reorganize this corporation over and over, going out all different countries making one. That wasn't stuff that just came up. That's stuff that you researched to find that. And we're just finding that out right now. We're just finding out that right now. And then people are trying to divert people's attention away from that this thing's a corporation. No, it's not a corporation, it's a government and all that. And the police have the authority of a sheriff because they have a badge. The European just said that these guys get away with killing people or whatever because of that badge that they got. That's not what sheriff has oath to enforce Constitution. And according to Constitution, if you go check, just go read it. Tell me if traffic tickets in there. If that's supreme law of the land, then traffic tickets should be in there. If it's not in there, then you don't question the Constitution. Why? How come the Constitution doesn't have stuff? No. You go question the people who are telling you traffic tickets. You don't question, how come the Constitution doesn't have the IRS in it? You go ask the IRS, how come they're not in the Constitution? But that means you have to stand up. And they might try to take your head, you know, you don't have your fez on or something like that, you know. They might think you're a Negro. You don't have your turban on? Don't let these people think that all those stuff is some Moorish Science Temple stuff. That's ancient foremothers and forefathers culture. They ain't copyright the fez and stuff like that. Trademark the fez only belongs to the Moorish Science Temple. This is birthrights. So freethoughtproject.com. Apparently traffic tickets are now a capital crime. And just go hear what they have to say. Now, since people like to stress the fact that they're from Baltimore and Baltimore this and that and they're there, they know what's going on or whatever, right? We just want to make sure that we put this on the record since people are there. You know what I mean? And then they don't want to hold the highwaymen responsible for murdering people. They want to put it on Moors. They want to say Moors are the reason why a highwayman killed somebody. Moors are why. Not all Moors, just these specific Moors that study. So that's all we do. We study. And then when you study, you're gonna go try break the board. If you break your hand, then you're not ready. You're gonna go do your little heel or whatever like that, and then you're gonna come back again. It's the same thing. You know? Right? You tried to do I got this, and then didn't see the cornerback over there lining you up. What are you gonna do? Stop. Throw off all your stuff. I don't want to play this game no more. That's how these guys are going on. Like sucks. Like some sucks on the playground. Bringing up stupid stuff about people got shot, blame it on Moors. When a highwayman did it. What does that tell you about these people? And I'm going to put it on the record too. That I talked to a Moor, right? And a Moor told me that these individuals, from his personal opinion, right? And this is a Moor who is on the network, whatever stuff that these guys are involved in. You know what I mean? Put up camera on the street and go talk. Okay, a Moor that you seen on that. And he said he knows that these guys work for frickin' the other side. How? He said because how they talk. Listen to how they talk. Don't be surprised if you talk to them and they're recording everything. Which is... Don't be surprised that people are recording. Now, if somebody's recording, even the corrupt people are going to say, just to let you know, we're going to be recording this call for customer service, and then, you know, they put you on notice. These people, you call them for doing your little consultation, whatever with them, you know, try get on their show and stuff like that, they're recording you. To probably use some stuff later in some other video BS that they like to make up stuff and say people did things. When it's directly them. It's directly these individuals. And again, it's a broad thing. This is not just something with these individuals. When you talk about agents and COINTELPRO, it's broad. Right? Again, we don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. You know what I mean? We know that certain people have certain information that's credible, that we won't even refute. You know what I mean? But they're not presenting that stuff. They're presenting the controversial stuff. That really is not no controversy if you study. And just like, you know what I mean, like people get thinking that, you know what I mean, this is some concerted effort to defend something. We don't have nothing to defend. We don't got nothing to prove as Moors that are active. Yeah, people get locked up. People also get their ass kicked out to jail too. But they don't talk about those people. They don't talk about the people who show their nationality card and have him and says, "Oh, have a nice day," and they go about their business. They're not going to talk about the Moors who have people getting rid of student loans right now without UCC and all that. Right now. G's down to zero because of some paper sent. You send a paper to somebody saying certain things and they know what the hell you're talking about, then they're going to act accordingly. Nobody shot. Nobody kidnapped, nobody arrested, but they're not talking about them people. They're not bringing them up. The theme is to get people who are not part of this not interested. It's not about people who are Moors. It doesn't matter. Like we already have a birthright. This has nothing to do with us. We got birthright already. It's all those people who don't got a birthright is where we're supposed to be going to. And we'll realize that there's so much people out there who don't know about their birthright that we wouldn't have time to be dealing with certain people. Everybody would have a RV Bay Publications, a Moorish directory or whatever like that, books out, whatever, doing whatever they can to get this information out. I wouldn't have time to deal with certain people. But I come from the battle MC era, you know what I mean? So I'm game. I don't rhyme no more, but I can make some videos. We could battle with. We could go video for video. You know what I mean? We can go song for song. I got tracks upon tracks. You know what I mean? Let's do that. Instead of debating Moorish stuff. Trying to do some battle stuff. Because people already got it washed up already. They have their little trolls coming on there, make little comments or whatever, but you guys are has-beens. You're from the generation of Moors that didn't do anything with this for 80 years. And then now because Moors are active, now you want, we got this stuff that we're building up or whatever. How come you were building something 10 years ago? 20 years ago? Where were y'all at? How come when we came in there was nobody talking about Moors as sovereign citizens? There was Moors that had their own plates in 07. Where were y'all at? How come you weren't defending the stuff you're defending now in 07, 08 when Moors were going around the country with the plates just to show people like, yeah, look, like this is how real it is. And then all of a sudden all that stopped by 2009, 2010. Why? Because they upped their operations. The handlers came and slapped these guys in the head back like, yo, what? Do you understand what's happening right now with this information getting out? It's not nothing spectacular. It's study. And you find out some spectacular stuff that you never knew before. And again, once you study and it gets into the mind or whatever like that, you realize, okay, from here I can just throw it with that much force and it goes in, then that much force every time, you're not going to miss. Why? Because it became routine. But we want studying to be routine. We want vegan diet to be routine, and we want, you know what I mean, the building to be routine, the time for everything to run smooth or whatever like that. But what about study? What about putting some time to that, like you put time to pumping weights or whatever? Time you put to baking up that chicken and all the BS that's killing you. What about putting an hour into a book? And really start to know thyself. Because it's a front right now. Know thyself now is a front. Because the real know thyself is what's your nationality. You got one? If you don't have one, then you don't know yourself. Trust me. Because I talk to people with nationalities. And when I ask them, they have a response. That I can go check and they got flag. There's a landmass that represents it. There's culture that represents it. It has a track record that goes back thousands of years. And they're telling me that the founding people of their stuff had locks like how I have and stuff like that, and always want to touch and whatever like that. Is it real and stuff like that? Let me see and all that. And then on top of that now, you got the fez or the turban on top of that. You definitely know yourself. but they don't want you to know yourself. They want Moors who are coming into this information that know that they're not Negro black colored. At least they know that they're Moors. They want you to think that this is some temple gives you this. You know, temple give you this. No temple gave me this. Individuals who had knowledge of Moors or whatever gave me all the reference points that I needed. And through going through all those reference points led me to more reference points. We didn't get to information yet. We're just doing reference points. And then we have to go back and then check every reference point's information. And that's why we're still doing what we do, putting this info, because our reference point of uplifting fallen humanity is letting fallen humanity know why they're not fallen. And the only way you're going to let them know that is if you put information out. Which is why Noble Juali said we need our own press, and press doesn't just mean papers, it also means video, blah blah stuff. And then that's where these people are going to come in and try to tie themselves to Noble Juali, that yeah, we got our own press, you know what I mean, it's called Moorish whatever, and you know what I mean, but they're pushing propaganda to get people to not look at, remember, they're not concerned about Moors. If you're a Moor, alright, cool, you know what I mean, most we could do is not let you study. People who aren't Moors, mentally, they want them to stay that way. And then they're going to have their community barbecue and stuff like that. Yeah, the Moors are doing this for the black guys, and then all the black guys are coming, and all of them are leaving as black guys. They're going to come eat their food belly full or whatever like that. And then, but I thought you're supposed to so did you uplift them because you, one time you gave them some food? That's the uplift? Okay. Because I know for a fact that the Moorish movement is Rotarian, which means it's humanitarian. So yeah, of course, you know, you have to help the less fortunate, no doubt. No doubt. Yes, that's an aspect of uplifting fallen humanity. But the real uplifting fallen humanity is getting these people to realize that they're not Negro black colored, that they're Moors, and that this is their estate. And they're in the illusion that they're poor, but they're in their own land. And then as soon as you bring that perspective that we're Moors, oh, something goes off in their brain, you know what I mean? Like they have some implanted Moor deflection, whatever. That when they hear Moor, they're automatically gonna give you the pause, the glitch. Right? Why? Because it's the key. It's the key to unlocking the fact of the matter. Not the assumption. The fact. More. That it's not, somebody can't give this to you. Somebody can't give you some papers to make you a Moor. Somebody can't give you a card that makes you a Moor. Like, you seen Sunday's class, right? That elder's been at class, like we talked about. Don't come sometimes, come whatever like that. Every time she comes, she got some new stuff that, right? By the end of class, she was like, so, all you guys have a card? Yeah. Why wouldn't we? Okay, I want to get my card. What's the card called? Well, it's a card, right? As soon as you start going all there, you know that we have supreme work to do Why is it that we have an email? You tell people send your questions or whatever. Right? Send your questions. You know, doesn't matter who it is, because we know that our position is get this information out. And when we start connecting with different Moors all over the country, for us, that's building. For us, that's building. Right? That's how we build. Now, one of these YouTube trolls, and this is how we take all these negatives and make them a positive. Because trust me, by us beating up on, you know, dirty Moors / disingenuous / agent / direct or indirectly involved with the overthrow of the Moorish divine and national movement, as much as we beat up on these people, the point is to get information out to people, not beat them up, because they're already done. You know, the dead horse. But you know, if people think it's cool to see a dead horse get beat, we'll beat the dead horse. It's not no big deal to us. This is birthrights. We're secure in this. We're not wavery. Like, we're secure. We're firmly planted. Right? Our roots go deep into this soil. Right? So, this troll right here, first know thyself, who again, if we ask you, what's your nationality or whatever like that, you might not have it, you know, whatever. But, and this is how you know that he's a troll, because on the rebuttal that Brother Bakari Battle Bay did, he left this same comment 5 or more times on the video comments. Right? 5 or more times he left this one, what I'm going to read. 5 or more times. Right? I could just put it once, you know what I mean? Like, we got a little bubble thing that says a number in it, so we know that somebody left a comment on the video, so we'll know what's up. But nah, 5 times. Plus, probably. Question to all. Roughly between 44:15 and 45:30 mark of this video, the speaker talks about proclaiming and declaring one's nationality. He also speaks of an allegiance to some form of government. My question is this. You know it's those wannabe scholar guys when they start talking like that. My question, and this to want to sound, right? Because you're not going to type all that stuff if you're just going to ask a question. And if it's really that serious, you know, there's a message box, like we tell people. But you know, people like the, you know what I mean, the wrestling, right? So we're going to wrestle. He also speaks of an allegiance to some form of government. My question is this. What government has he and other Moors taken an allegiance to when they proclaim and declare their nationality? Now, in the words of the master teacher, Abdullah Talib Mozi Bey, your question is colored. Because how are you recognizing that the individual proclaimed and declared their nationality, but questioning the government that that individual has allegiance with, when nationality determines that? Is a Chinese national part of some other government than Chinese? Well, where's the Moorish government? Because I don't see no buildings over there or whatever like that. So, building qualifies whether something's in existence? This is how superficial you people are? That RVB Online University, where's the building? Building for what? It's a university. Have you been on the website? You see all the stuff on there? You know those rooms, the information on that website would fill? If we put all those stuff in book form, everything on the site into books, so your colored question can't be answered. You need to go study. Because you can't tell me that you recognize that he proclaimed his nationality, but you don't know what allegiance, what government allegiance he has an allegiance to. That's not something that's supposed to be questioned if you recognize that the individual is talking about nationality. But we understand it's the sellouts who never told you that United States and Canada is Morocco, not United States and Canada. Yeah, Morocco is above Mexico. That's just what it is. That's why everybody in North America that is part of so-called government or whatever like that, you guys call it government, Illuminati and all that stuff, are Masons or imposter Moors. They got fezzes and all that. They took the whole Moorish government structure and hid it in the lodge. And then anybody who wants to be somebody in government, they're going to have to belong to the stuff, because those are the ones who were taught by the people whose government it is in the first place that this is how stuff runs over here. And the stuff got railroaded. And now you want to know where your government is. When Republican form of government, according to the Constitution, Republican form of government is government of the people, not of some guys. Republican government is the people. The people are the government. And there's something that's already in place. It's called Constitution and treaties. That's just sitting there for the people, to hold the people who are claiming that they are the government accountable to the position of government. But they don't want to do that. They want to give mercenaries the authority of a sheriff. They want to send their little trolls to try to confuse people and start questioning what their government is. Yeah, where is our government or whatever? If you don't know that you're your government, then you need to go get off all this social media BS and you need to go put in some hours. You need to put in some supreme hours, because you can't speak the word nationality and don't know government allegiance. That's incompetence. And again, when these people are talking to you about nationality doesn't determine what law you're under or whatever like that, don't let these people fool you into thinking that some temple whatever is going to protect you. And anybody you see in something that they're going to point at and say, look, see that person, whatever. Make sure you go fact check that stuff that they're pointing at. And make sure that, it's only, make sure, right? Be in the position of, without a shadow of a doubt, that what they're pointing at that individual and saying that, oh, because they were following certain people's website, that's what they got. Make sure that any type of record that the individuals who killed somebody or whatever, make sure you go check that record and see what they charged them with. Don't go at what these people say and say that that it's affiliated. Make sure you go check. Because when you go check the record and you see what they put on the record, then you'll know what it is. Opposed to listening to these people who are trying to remember, there's a point that our people are not Negro black colored. So if there are people who call themselves Negro black colored, then that's who our attention is supposed to be on, not Moors. Moors already have this information. This is not debatable amongst Moors. To the people who are agents, they make stuff debatable amongst Moors. Things that aren't even debatable. So they start debating you on certain things based on the fact that you study, and you're not just taking somebody said or whatever like that because they say that they're Grand Sheik or whatever. Yeah, we're going to go with this guy. He hasn't done nothing for 80 years. All they're doing is just getting people to give them little fiat for their little, processes that they're doing. When really they're living off the people. Brother Kofi Alatunji. Islam, great brother. I have a question. I got a national ID card through RV Bay with my appellation on it. Right now, let's qualify this now. Right? I got a national ID card through RV Bay. Not I got an RV Bay card. Not I got an RV Bay national card. I got a national ID card. Several months later, I joined the temple in Carbondale and I was told to not change my name but add L or Bay to the birth name. Now, that is immediate, right? But don't put longevity on straw name with Bay or L on it, right? Because you don't want to have any joinder to anything relative to that quote unquote birth name. And the only joinder that you can have, according to law, is X relation to that. So if you're saying Jeff Jones Bay, and there's a birth certificate that's Jeff Jones, you're Jeff Jones Bay X relation that name. But that shouldn't be the end. Because you're supposed to return to your ancient foremothers and forefathers mindset, and your ancient foremothers and forefathers were not called Jones and Jeff. The ancient forefathers were not called Jones and Jeff. Right? I didn't have any issues with this because when I looked at the names of Moors during the Prophet's time, that seems to be what they did, because that was immediate. They didn't go through the process. They didn't completely finish. Because again, use other people's culture. Use other people's culture as a reference point. The Hindu people have a Hindu name. Turkish people have a Turkish name. Eritreans have an Eritrean name. People in Senegal, they have a Senegalese name. But now, if we're saying that we're Moors, we encompass all those names. Including the European ones. But, again, if they've done something with that name because they claim jurisdiction, and you know that there's a superior name, go with the superior name. Because remember, Noah Drawley's track record from 1913 to 1929 had caused the people to be in a different mindset. But remember, that was immediate. That was for that time. And he told them that he came for us, the later generations. The later generations are now here with a new mind. It's not the same as back then, but the principles don't change. The principles are never ever going to change, no matter how much time goes by. So it's the principles that we're going back to. Yes, you can have that name and just put LRB on it. Yeah, but you know, that's lazy. Because the fact is that you're not that either. You know what I mean? Especially if somebody else has a claim on something that looks just like that. All you did is attach Bay on it. Through the temple, I received all of my documents, i.e. membership card, baptismal record, etc. in the annexed birth name. In an effort to have my documents consistent, I thought about getting a new nationality card with the birth name with the L added to it. Do you think this is wise or necessary? Now, I wouldn't even go with whether it's wise or unwise, right? But is it necessary? No, because again, right? Look at how there's a devolution that just happened. Because if you don't have the birth name on your nationality card, and then you went to the temple, and the temple is telling you that, well, don't use the name on the nationality card. Go back and use the name that you were birthed with, just put LRB on it. That's them taking you off of where you're at. That's you getting off of your path that you were on. You were on a path because obviously you were studying all that stuff. And this is why we tell people that, you know, it's about knowing so that when you go to these places called Moor Science Temple, that some of them might be, you know what I mean, you don't know, their stuff might not be too straight, right? You have to go in with your mind. And nothing has to be done because somebody says. You can say, oh, you know what, take this with me or whatever like that. And I'm going to see you in 2 weeks or whatever. Let me just digest this for a second. All right? So, if you already have a nationality card that you've been using, that has a name that's not the birth name, then what? Why are you getting a new one with the name before? Because remember, those things have energy. And remember, majority of us that's coming in or whatever, you know what I mean? That old name You don't want nothing to do with that old name for real, if you go back check the record of the old name. Because we know that that old name was us being our lower self. Not attach Bay to my lower self. Why not just be my higher self? Do you understand? Understand? Why you gonna go from Negro to Moor, but hyphen Bay on Negro? Think about that one. Hyphen Bay on colored. Hyphen Bay on black. Then you're not supposed to be those things. Right? So this man when he was talking about proclaiming your nationality and stuff, this stuff is deeper than just put your name on some card. Because also remember that names carry energy too. Right? And this is not for the saints. You know what I mean? We're talking about the people who really came from the gutter and found out about nationality and got themselves out the gutter mindset. Right? People who are on that level know that they don't want anything to do with back there. Especially that name. And the proclamation of the nationality is evolution into starting to look at yourself as your higher self, not as the lower self that we've, gutter people have been accustomed to thinking that's who I am. When, you're probably supposed to be doing some other stuff. The next is a testimonial. Oh, right to travel testimonial. Perfect. All right. So this is one of the Moors in quote unquote Canada, right? Who studies the Constitution for the United States Republic, the American Constitution, the Constitution with the 7 Articles and 10 Bill of Rights. But he's up here, but he's studying that and using that as a reference point. Why? Because Article 11 of the Articles of Confederation, for the stupid people who don't study, says that Canada is a state of the United States of America. And they are ceded to everything in the Union. What's everything in the Union? Constitution. And again, when you have, like, how are they going to say, I'm Canadian, right? I'm a Moor. I proclaim my nationality. I'm Moorish American. But they're not going to call me that. They're going to say, I'm Canadian, but they're not going to call themselves United Statesian. How come you guys aren't calling yourself United Statesian if I'm Canadian? Because if you live in the United States and Canada is not a state of the United States and I'm Canadian, then the place where you are is called United States and you should be called United Statesian. How come you're not called United Statesian? Isn't the place where you live called United States according to you people? Isn't the government called United States according to you people? So how come you guys aren't called United Statesians? And how come you let certain Europeans call themselves Americans? Which is really supposed to be you people who don't call yourself United Statesians, but you call yourself Moorish American. But you're in the United States though. Because if I'm a Moor, I'm a Moorish American, and I'm in Canada, according to y'all, that makes me Canadian. All right. Oh, your own mouth, you said that you're in the United States and asked me if I ever drove in the United States because you're in the United States. All right. So if you're in the United States, then you should be United Statesian if I'm Canadian. And then if you're going to deny the fact that you're United Statesian, then don't dare ever call me Canadian again. If you're not going to call yourself United Statesian, because that's just being a bull-faced hypocrite. If you want to be a bull-faced hypocrite, keep our name out your mouth, especially mine. If you're going to use your common sense, then... So right to travel demonstration, right to travel proof that these guys are full of BS telling you about right to travel gets people arrested and stuff like that. Right? Islam, Kudro, and Moors. Oh yeah, and his Islam is I.S.L.A.M. Why? Because I, self-law, am master. We're not some Muslims. Just want to share a situation that occurred on November 15, 2016. And just remember, go check the record for when they were uploading all their BS. Right? And then see, because this is from November 15th. So, again, a reference point. So we're giving you a reference point of our situation. Make sure you go back and check those guys' stuff and find the reference points of when they were stating that there's no such thing as right to travel, and right to travel is fake, and we're following some whatever they said we're following. Right? While I was traveling at night, I did not immobilize at a stop sign, and a policy enforcer followed me with his flashing overhead light. When I immobilized the conveyance, the policy enforcer came toward me. Is there an emergency? I saw your flashing overhead lights. Agent hesitated. Well, you did not stop at the stop sign. May I see the papers, please? Driver's license, all this stuff. At this moment, I was thinking, do I show my national ID cards or show him the instrument? Well, I said to myself, let me see the experience by showing him the instruments. I let him know that there was no policy insurance. Policy insurance is of an admiralty jurisdiction. And he was telling me, well, the fact that you don't have it, I may tow the car, but I kept my cool. I'm going to make some verification. Not after 5 minutes, the policy enforcer came back towards me and said, well, since you don't have insurance, I would have to tow the car. So where are you going now? Going home. Agent, okay, well, since my printer does not work, I will send you the ticket by mail. I will let you go. His answer, printer does not work, showed me that while checking the info in their database, he could not have personam jurisdiction and knew my de jure status. On the plate registration instrument, I signed on it, all rights reserved, UCC 1-308, UCC 1-103. Not only was the ticket not sent in the mail, but this little experience showed me about how correcting my status, proclaim my nationality, and my activity is vital. For the record, I did send my paperwork to the policy officers of Languille Corporation a couple months ago, and also put the municipal court of Languille et al. On notice with writs regarding any issues with any tickets. I, self-law, am master. And that's with the instruments. With the instruments. Remember, he's not putting any people on notice about some straw. He's not using a straw name to put them on notice. But when he got stopped, he gave the corporate stuff. And, went back to the car, checked whatever they checked. Came back, no ticket. And that was on the 15th. It's the 29th. Ticket would have been sent already because it only takes 2 days. Right? That's with the instrument now. The benefit of status correction. For people who want to know what the benefit is. There's a benefit. You have to deal with these crazy people. Brother Najib, I would like to join Moor Science Temple of America. Thanks, Najib, Muslim L. We have MoorishDirectory.com. If you go to MoorishDirectory.com, navigate that website, and you will be led to the directory where you'll be able to at least find somebody near your jurisdiction. You can also go to ActiveMoors.com, get on that, and more than likely find some Moors in your jurisdiction that could assist you further. As far as we're concerned, we do honorary membership for individuals who have tried to go to a Moor Science Temple where they live, and either there's too much corruption there or they got some church stuff going on and they're not really down with that. So they wanted to align themselves or show allegiance to the Moors who are riding with the same people who they study from and who they study with. I mean, because it's a connecting thing. It's getting to conversate and communicate with not just Moors where you're at, but Moors all over. And even in that, getting reference points from these individual Moors who are doing their own studying that have some totally different reference points than the people who, we even say are master teacher or whatever. And those reference points are credible. But again, it comes down to, vibrating on the right frequency so you can attract those particular Moors. Because you don't want to attract these Moors here who we're dealing with. Those aren't the Moors that you want to attract into your cipher. Right? Alan L. Islam Canaanland Moors. For years now, I've been listening to flamenco acoustic Spanish guitar. Flamenco music is originated in Spain with the Moors. Since becoming a listener, I have always felt like this music was my real soul music. This is before I even started getting into my Moorish birthrights and was not aware of the influence Moors had to this genre of music. Just further proof how this is divine first before national. My spirit always led me to the signs. Flamenco is part of the culture of Spain, but its origins is only select to one region, Al-Andalusia. The cities in Andalusia are Sevilla, Granada, Cordoba, Jerez, and Malaga, and reflect the great Moorish influence since historically Moors ruled from 711 to the 11th century. What makes flamenco interesting is the influence of other dance forms that have helped to create it. The earliest settlers in Andalusia came not only from the Middle Eastern, North Africa and Persia, but from Punjab region of India, Rajasthan. We call them the Gypsies. Flamenco is an amalgamation of all cultures. It has drawn its inspiration from Greek, Roman, Indian, Moorish, and Jewish cultures. Flamenco was born from the frustration and heartaches of the oppressed people in Spain. the Jews, Gypsies, and Moors. Since the time of the Spanish Inquisition, the Jews, Moors, and Gypsies were treated as outsiders, often persecuted, disdained, and hated by the Spanish people. Flamenco was born from this. As a spiritual outlet, very much like gospel was born from the oppression of the so-called American slaves. Often, whole families would gather impromptu in their neighborhoods to sing, dance, and entertain for their community. It was not until later that flamenco became an accepted form. It took a long time for flamenco to become accepted as an art form in Spain. It was not until non-gypsies performed in cafes and theaters that it became popular. It has been since commercialized. Right? So even flamenco is victim of the culture vultures. But you know, they don't talk about that. Talk about other stuff. But, you know, you're always going to have the detractors. Etymology of basilica, 1540s, from Latin basilica, building of a court of justice, and by extension, church built on the plan of one, from Greek stoa, basilic, royal portal, the portico of the archon Basilius, the official who dispensed justice in Athens, from Basilius, king, see Basil. In Rome, applied specifically to the 7 principal churches founded by Constantine. And so, the basilica was really a court of justice. Oh, that was in Latin. Oh, Moorish Latin. Oh, so that means the Moors always dealt with law. It's not something new. Moors just dealing with law right now. Moors are the law. I, self, law, am master. And they're going to get Islam more, Islam more, Islam more, Islam more, Islam Moorish American, Islam Muslim, Islam. But they don't want to deal with law. They want to deal with statutes. But they're telling you, I self law master, every time they say Islam. But they don't deal with law though. No law. No law. I wanted to know if my concepts are right in claiming property. I am not doing it, just seeing if I'm thinking in the right way about matters. What I would do is claim a house because I have a allodial title, which is my title, Bay. Then I would put it in a private trust. Would that be the process that a national would take? Well, the national would have to first find out that is that house that he's claiming not occupied, whether somebody's in it or not. And as well, the concept is not this, and this is how people get caught up in these things. The concept is not the property, it's about the land. If you're saying allodial title, that's based on land, not property. The property is allodial because it's on the land. It's not the property. Like, what is it? State. It's not the land. It's a private corporation. It's not the building that they say court of whatever. It's not the property. It's only on paper. It's the only place that it exists. So once you make your claim, on that property that you've done the background check to see that, you know what I mean, it's claimable. You're not just gonna go claim whatever out there just because I got big, I can do it. That's crazy talk, right? They have their little office that they'll have their listing of the stuff that's abandoned. And then you go claim something once it's abandoned. And then you do like what the Mexicans do. 50 of them come and then they re-gentrify 50,000 houses in 2 days. Oh, because of nationality. But you know, they're not gonna live there. They'll just flip it. Or the Chinese even do that. 10 of them live in one house. Everybody go out and get a job, but 10 of them live in one house. They pay off that house in 2 years. And then they buy the house across the street. And then half goes in that one and then half goes in this one. That's what they do here. And then remember, because of their quote-unquote corporate connections of being, you know, / Canadian, they got their little break. Just like the quote-unquote Indians get their little break because, you know, they say that they're Indians. Right? But we're not dealing with privileges. We're dealing with rights. And it's unfortunate what happened to people, but go check the record. None of those people who they claim were squatting and stuff like that got charged for squatting. Just go check. Don't remember reference point. And then when you check, then you have to ask yourself, well, why would Moors go around saying that you can't claim a property if they didn't get charged with claiming a property? So if they didn't get charged for it, then that means that that part of what they did was proper. If they didn't charge them with anything, you know, it's hard for our people, you know, because majority of them, whether Negro, black, colored, or Moors, decide to be overseer, opposed to being brother and sister. They rather be overseer, which is their position. So, you know, like I said, it ain't nothing. You're gonna try stuff or whatever, but yeah, sounds right. Again, the only thing is that you're not making no claim on no house. You're claiming your birthright, which ties you to the land. So you're claiming that that house is on your land. You're not claiming the house. Because if you claim the house, then they claim the land, and now you got to pay them taxes. You claim the land, and then the house is on your land. So, you know, somebody owes you now. Again, which is why Noble Drew Ali told declare nationality. Why? Because this is our estate, land, that we're part and parcel of. Because parcel is a land. We're part and we're land. How? Because we say that we're Moors. Moor means land. Moor means land. So if Moor means land, then yeah, we're autochthonous. Because Moor means land. Autochthonous means from the soil. So you mean like God came and did... No. We've been here. We've been here so long that us and the land have a relationship. That's why we come from the land. Right? And we've been here so long that this is birthrights. That's why nobody can't tell you you can't do certain stuff. Especially when they did stuff on your land without consulting you. Who's the heir? But how could they consult you? Because you thought you were Negro black colored because you listened to all these BS false prophets that came after the prophet. Even some that were around when he was around, listen to them. And then the ones that did get on the sense of the prophet, you forget the lesson that they taught you about the prophet and you go back to the black stuff. And then the people stay there. And then the ones that are Moors are taught, well, you know, carry your fez in a bag or whatever. Can't let nobody know that you're Moors because, you know, because of the Japanese or whatever, we're trying to... Got people scared to be Moors. So why even proclaim your nationality if you're not going to be a proud Moor? Only convention you wear your fez and all that? Other than that, there's no activity? That's not what this was created for. No way. No way. This was created to just be stored in some building called Moorish Holy Temple or Moorish Science Temple. And just stored in there. And then when you look on the street, you don't see no Moors anywhere. All you see is just regular people. Other nationalities, and then Negro black colored people. Where's the Moors at? Have to be present. Because we're the ones that's supposed to be changing what's going on around here. And the only way you're going to change stuff around here is if you're present. Brother Kosi Trey L. Hotep and Islam. Oh, there's somebody Kemetic? Oh, somebody Kemetic that is L? Because only Kemetic guys say Hotep. He's a Hotep and Islam, which both mean peace. So we could come to the conclusion that these two cultures are relative if both of their greetings mean peace. There must be some type of relation between quote unquote Islam and quote unquote Egyptian, black Egyptian, whatever, if both their greetings mean peace. But nah, the Kemetic guys aren't Moors. But you know, we see you there, Kosi Trail, Islam, and Hotep. My apologies for the late update regarding an encounter with the de facto agents. If anyone remembers the first encounter I had with a couple of agents visiting my work location about not paying taxes. Well, just recently I was visited again by one of the agents. The visit didn't last long and this encounter was made by the agent I mentioned before was or is a Freemason and played good cop with me. Anyway, he had stopped by and had introduced himself to a fairly new manager. The manager was aware of the incident but wasn't present when the first encounter occurred. After he introduced himself, he asked if he and I could talk in private. Now I understand quote unquote private talk business, however, I wasn't taking any chances to discuss anything without the manager being present to be an eyewitness. Once we all stepped to the side, the agent began to express he was just present to check up on me, and there was no effort shown about the last situation. He simply wanted to ask if he and I could have lunch. Now, I don't know about the other Moors or how one would perceive that statement for me, but it was a hell no, right? And that's just like that's just like Islam to Drink Champs. Just like when 50 was on Drink Champs talking about Puffy wanted to take him shopping. Right, so Highwayman comes back, FBI comes back and wants to take the Moor to lunch, right? Many reasons, and the main one is the bad rep given and shown to us. I just simply replied, I don't feel comfortable, and from that point, shook his hand. He supposedly accepted the answer given. This is where the good part comes into play. As I'm traveling, I notice a card on my front window under the wiper. I stopped to check it out, and behold, it was an FBI card. On the back it reads, in case you change your mind, you can give me a call. Now you know I hit the Grand Sheik about this, so I ask you Moors, how would y'all have handled it? Cujo, please express your view. Islam. Moor would have did the same thing that you did. You know what I mean? Kindly decline, you know, and go about our business. You know what I mean? And that's that. But that was good though. That was good that he came back. That was good. Just to prove, you know, not every Moor that interacts with these people, you know what I mean, something negative happens. You know what I mean? You know. But they don't tell you about those ones. Because if they tell you about those ones, it's going to inspire you to realize that, oh, so it's actually real? Nah, I need another example. Okay, and then in 2 days, another example is going to come in there. It's actually real? Nah, I need another example. But then when the dirty Moors come with their negative example, oh wow, that, and then you're gone in the other direction. No, don't want to give Moorish nationality as props, trying to put Moorish nationality on sovereignty and European stuff. You know what I mean? Selling out your birthright to the highwayman and everybody else. Alright. Can you please go into, this is Sister Sharice L. Can you please go into detail explaining how the following establishments, as well as explain each of their significance with the Moorish Divine National Movement of the world? Old Canaanite Temple, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America. Right. As far as Old Canaanite Temple, we know that that was the first temple that was founded by Noble Drew Ali. We know that during that time, there were many other Moors around him that were connected to other Moorish groups, whatever, right? We have, you know, Dus Muhammad Ali, we have Rabbi Ford, we have Marcus Garvey, nobody else, right? We have the Moorish literature that Noble Drew Ali goes into and explains how Moorish Temple of Science became Moorish Science Temple of America, what year that it happened, that there was a transfer from being called, not demonstrating, but being called civic to being called religious. And then that the reason why I did that, because of the amount of religious people that were coming into this trying to find out what this was about. To realize that the civic part had to be left for those who were on that plane. And then those are the ones that would exercise that aspect. And then the religious aspect are the people that you see today that call themselves Moorish Science Temple, that, you know, sing hymns and clap and pay their taxes and do whatever else. Right? So this is the split in the Moorish movement, the religious aspect and the civic aspect. The civic aspect is the constitutional enforcement, treaty enforcement, studying law, studying everything, leaving no stone unturned. The religious aspect is Noble Drew Ali's literature only, what the Grand Sheikh says, what the Grand Governor says, what the Grand Supreme whatever says, and that's their only reference points. And then when you get to the Adab Chamber, then we'll give you some other stuff to make you, you know what I mean, be somebody, right? So not to go into extreme detail, but if you get the Moorish literature, there's the article, Moorish Leaders' Historical Message to America, where he breaks it down, right? As far as the succession from Holy Temple of Science to Moorish Science Temple of America, and Old Canaanite Temple, that's a good one for, you know, the Moors who are quote unquote elder Moors, Moors whose, family been in temple and stuff like that, those are the people that you ask about stuff like Old Canaanite Temple and what type of businesses were there and stuff like that. Right? 2. Since I have subscribed to Canaanland Moors, my emails have been flooded with emails from something called MAG, Moorish American Government. Are in any form after the Great Seal or something Moors should use as a credible reference to attain more information. Well, Moorish American Government is a body of Moors, the foundation of Moorish American Government is a body of Moors that had very, for lack of a better term, interesting relations with Moors of the Moorish Science Temple of America that were claiming to be a particular branch of the line after Noble Drew Ali passed form. So basically, the individual that founded Moorish American Government, Pleasant Bay, he was one of the individuals that literally got taken to court by Moors, right? And because of that, violation of the customs, about, don't call no highwayman on your brother and stuff like that. He took it pretty hard, and pretty much started Moorish American, at that time, national government, which is Moorish American government now. The perspective coming in to Moorish American national government was that we have an issue with so-called Moorish/Black Masons being in the adept chamber of the Moorish Science Temple and confusing the information, right? And his position was bringing the information back so that the people have access to it, right? And also to put on the record that during the time of him dealing with these people, because he was getting hit on all fronts, he received consul at that time. Not sure about the year, but you could get his book Exhuming of a Nation, and he talks about all this stuff in there, right? We know that he was in consul with Moors who we consider master teachers today, right? And if we check the record as far as Moors are concerned, he's one of only 3 Moors to my knowledge that have wrote a book that was like heavy, right, in every sense of the word. What's in there and the fact that there was so much information, the book was a good sized book, right? Exhuming of a Nation by Pleasant Bay, Alim Bey's book, First World Order, and Brother Asir, Dark Skull, right? There were only 3 books that are that size. Read the book. There's documented facts for Moors to look at Moorish Science Temple of America. Certain ones, that make certain claims, look at them differently because of how they dealt with the Elder Pleasant Bay, right? and that mentality of people, that perspective is still around today. And again, comes back to the same thing that, not to knock anything or whatever like that. I don't know what he was dealing with, but the fact that he didn't draw attention to the individuals who gave him the flip bird, he just took it out on the temple, is where my issue with Moorish American national government, Moorish American government comes in, because it wasn't the temple that did anything. The temple didn't do anything. It was people in the seat of the temple that did something. And that's what needed to be addressed. But again, when you're playing this game of own Noble Juali's stuff, why would anybody want to be down with it after they go through something like what he went through? Might as well just start my own thing over here, and because I got the knowledge, I know what's up. I know his nationality and birthrights or whatever. I know that Noble Juali is a universal prophet, so anybody can take his information and, do whatever they got to do, just help save the nation. So it's not, if you, let's put it like this, if you know that you're not Negro, black, colored, you're Moorish American, and you have identification to prove that, then anything else you should feel comfortable or be able to be part of. Whether you take their card or not or whatever is irrelevant. You know what I mean? Because there's many Moors out there that are doing many different things. That, there might be Moors that have a study group in a different jurisdiction, that they actually have membership, that you could join it. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you join? If you're a Moorish American and they're teaching you information that you need to know, of course join. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to diss it, because it's serving the purpose of waking up our people to nationality and birthrights. That this is your birthrights. You know what I mean? Somebody can't own this. Somebody can't make you a Moor. You know what I mean? You have a nationality. Noble Juali said you are a nation in 1920 something. So if you said you are a nation, then if you're found out that you're a Moor in 2016, that means you have a nationality. You already have it. Nothing somebody could give you. Prophet already gave it to you. It's, are you gonna declare and proclaim it? Right? So make sure you go get the book, and don't get the book from Amazon. Let me put that out there too. Do not get Exhuming of the Nation off of Amazon. Go to the MAG website. Let's see if this one's still up. I know it was Seven Seals that was publishing it, but don't get the stuff off of Amazon. Exhuming of a Nation, specifically that. Right. So sevensealspublications.com. Right, you can go there and get Exhuming of a Nation from there, and then just make sure you tell them, Cujo sent you, and try to get more than one, so you get a deal. 3, is Moroccan a name which alludes to slavery? And if so, is that why the Prophet created the Moorish American jurisdiction for Moors to be free from other citizens molesting their rights? Moroccan, well, it's just like if we look at it like they say Canaanite alludes to slavery, but if ancient is before it, are they talking about the same Canaanites? So just like when people say Moroccan, what Moroccans they talking about? Those people that's over there right now? That's not Moroccans. So it's people's perspective. And again, certain people are gonna use misdirection right? Because again, just like we were talking about, if Noble Ali said we're descendants of Moroccans born in America, right? We're descendants of Moroccans born in America. And again, where would these individuals from Morocco go and still be Moroccans? Not be anything else, not be hyphenated. Right? The descendants of Moroccans can only go to Morocco and be Moroccans, or be Moorish, or be American. Only Moroccans can be American. In America, Moroccans are Moorish, American. So Moroccan being a name that alludes to slavery is somebody's opinion, because Noble Drew Ali already told you the names that allude to slavery. And he was clear with what those names are. And if Moroccan alluded to slavery, that would have been included just like Ethiopia was included. You know, and the question should be, is Ethiopian a name which alludes to slavery? But you know, I already know where it's coming from, because you know, people like to, you know, put information out because they want to assume the role of their teaching somebody something. But if it's misinformation, you're not teaching, causing confusion. And certain people should let the teaching stay with the people who teach. Certain people should let the rhyming stay to the people that rhyme. Certain people are whack, and they're playing stuff before their videos, and they're whack, and they don't need to, because it's not their lane. Right? So Moroccan, because remember, when we go to American, comes from Al-Moroccan. So Noble Drew Ali said we're Moorish Moroccan. Descendants of Moroccans born in America, so we're Moorish Moroccan. All right. If a Chinese can't go to Senegal and then Senegal become China, but a Moroccan went from Morocco to somewhere else that's above Mexico, but people say that's the United States, or that's the United States of America, when really that's propaganda. Because above Mexico is Morocco. And North, South, Central America is part of the Moroccan Empire. Which is why certain people have no problem coming over here and being hyphen American. Because they're coming to a place where they know there's equal opportunity. They're coming to a place where they know that they can, quote unquote, have a chance. Same thing that was going on from 7-Eleven to 1492. People leaving wherever they're at to go to this particular place ruled by these particular people called Moors. And remember, this was a global thing. So not because we got hit in our head and buried in a shallow grave means that everybody else forgot our history too. We're the only ones that's been in the dark. Nobody else has been in the dark, just us. Well, why are we in the dark? How come we've been in the dark so long? Here's an example of why we've been in the dark. One example. Family, I get numerous emails from people who claim that we, or at least a lot of us, actually did not come to the Americas as a result of enslavement. This is a highly ignorant and offensive statement by people who should actually know better. It is both anti-African and anti-intellectual. It is like a religious cult. It is a bit of info here and a bit of info there, largely cherry-picked from dubious sources, often from YouTube. It is nonsense, it is garbage, it is a fantasy, and it is a distraction. Next time somebody tells you that we are indigenous, ask them, where did these indigenous people come from? We all came from Africa, whether in ancient or recent or modern times. Africa is the mother continent of humanity, and even the indigenous people of the Americas must ultimately trace their roots there. So let's get serious and stop fooling around. We don't have time for it. Blessed love, Ashe, Runoko Rashidi. Now, how did it go from did not come to the Americas as a result of enslavement to everybody in America has to trace their African roots and they come from Africa? Same stuff we're saying. Keep people in the dark. Because the reality, just go check the record. Let's check the record. The first Americans were Africans. Remember the statement that was made. I get numerous emails from people who claim that we, or at least a lot of us, actually did not come to the Americas as a result of enslavement. This is highly ignorant and an offensive statement. So he's basically saying that we came over here on a slave ship. Right? But then, by the time he gets to the end, he smoothly replaced enslavement with being from Africa. And that we need to stop saying that we're not from Africa. That wasn't the argument he was bringing up. He was bringing up that people were saying that, but you know, this is the slick stuff, the same slick stuff that you hear people on, you know, MWTV talk about. But let's just qualify this thing about the slave ship, whatever. Right? This is David Imhotep, PhD, right? Page 86. The Huicloles, Huichcholes, however, say there was another group of people who predated them and were darker and shorter than they were. This group was called the Chichimecas, the little people. Chichimecas. Chichimecas. The little people who were spread out over 1,000 miles across the Sierra Madre Mountains north of Huicloles, Huichcholes. We are told the Spanish enslaved them and they did not survive. Another Mexican population of 70,000 people with obvious African roots today is the people of Costa Chica on Mexico's Pacific coast. It is one of the two areas in Mexico with a significant black population today. The Negro Costa Chicanos claim that they never been slaves. They never been slaves. Never? Right? Again, like to keep people in the dark. Right? Everybody's getting, you know, going hard at the sister because she posted this. Right? Beating her up. Oh my God, that's the devil, and what are you doing, and all that stuff. Right? Keep people in the dark. Big Moroccan star on the forehead of Baphomet. Right? We already know. We already got the reference point from Bobby Hemmett. Right, we got the reference point. The reference point was given by the master teacher, the master metaphysic teacher, the Sufis, by Idris Shah, where they explain about the Baphomet being a representation of the Moors who taught the sciences. Just leave that there. Right? We just wanted to put it on the record before we close out. We got my little queue up stuff right there. Active Moors be like, sure you're with the Prophet. Sure you're with the Prophet. Because, Prophet has the flags in a certain place, but certain people always like to fly the flags not how the Prophet flew. Active Moors be like, nah, y'all definitely not with the Prophet. And that's 2 strikes. That's about 50 strikes. Red flags, whistles, all that stuff. And they want to play around still when they're completely in contradiction to Noble Drew Ali himself. Noble Drew Ali himself. Showing the people. Letting them know. You know what I mean? How the flags are supposed to go. Then certain people have the flags a different way than how Noble Drew Ali said. But we're against the Prophet and we're against our brothers and stuff like that. But they're going to play their little game as usual. That's just how it goes. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Ain't nobody mad, you know what I mean? We're just putting out the information so our people could know the truth about their nationality and birthrights, because they've been lied to for so long. And they're finally waking up to the truth. And, the reason why these people are waking up to the truth about their nationality and birthrights, and we praise Allah, we praise Noble Drew Ali for rvbaypublications.com for assisting all of us in getting our minds free so we can take our bodies back from these vampires out here. Right? So honors, supreme honors to RV Bay Publications and all the staff that's making sure that we are getting information that is going to raise our consciousness, not information that's going to stagnate us. Give thanks to RV Bay Publications for making sure that Moors coming into studying about their nationality and birthrights that was brought to them by their Prophet, that they were given reference points for them to go and study and know about their nationality and birthrights for real. You know what I mean? And based on the responses of people stepping up, right? That's why they don't have to say anything. They don't have to reply. They don't have to make any comments on anything. Because they have people backing them. They have people backing them. Right? So we'll just close out with our prayer. Islam to all the Moors online. We'll see how this stream goes, because they like to play, but regardless, we got our camera running and we'll be uploading by tomorrow. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam. And there was some more stuff, but we'll save some stuff, you know what I mean? We'll save some stuff. Islam to Brother Sheldon L. sent me some stuff. So we'll see how they go. And don't forget, I'm still waiting to see certain people's books or whatever, but there's the new book, khalifamedia.com. Go pick it up, watch my prophecies. And we're just breaking down the prophecies that have manifested to date. Right? So people could recognize that he's real. You know what I mean? Building literature. Goddamn buildings. Watch my prophecies. And of course, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, Blog Talk Radio. Keep in mind 347-945-5899. Just call in early because it fills up fast. And once you get in there, get your pens, papers and stuff like that so you can be ready, right? And we'll just close out with Iron Sheep 5 one time. Sarcophagus open, red hooded cloak soaking of oils essential, glowing from my mental. Some slide with a coward glide out the temple. Arrogant, egotistical, pseudo-mysticals. Silence from lips telepathic and graphic. I'm communicating with identified ships, objects flying in zigzag and symmetric patterns. My pyramid core looks like a cavern, spiritual war reflecting off the raging cauldron water bubbles. No burning wood smell, no heat but cough doubles. No smoke watching broken puddles. Glass flowing, grass growing, foaming, smoking nozzles to minds. My words are fossils, colossal. Dirty Moors appearing as doubting apostles. Glowing lower chakras, fireflies in bottles. Won't give enough light and minds to get me out the darkness. Spirits around me, soul and heartless. All five senses, shock watching, a walking carcass. Wires poking out from foreheads, blink to answer iPhones. Mouth tubes going through nose to lungs to smoke hydro. One time I travel so far, chasing a star, dodging comets, zooming past quasars. One time I travel so far, chasing a star, dodging comets, zooming past quasars. One time I travel so far, chasing a star, zooming past comets, dodging quasars. One time I travel so far, chasing a star, zooming past comets, dodging quasars. MC sarcophagus open, from slaves to cyborg psychos. Hatchet through the door as rage leaks from pores. Black hole, not vinyl, watching it spiral. Disciple of the archetypal, hip-hop revival. I'm pulses versus suicidal impulses. Bonafide genocide, I'm crucifying vultures. Not absorbing into cultures, burst out like Gamma Bay. I'm like Alhambra days. My they live sunglasses are not rapper shades. I'm seeing aliens with locks and turbans, not grays. Floating off the platform, greeting me with Islam gestures. Blue flame corkscrew around scepters, using a portal as an entrance. Galactic world pendants with some solar flare, double helix necklace. Couldn't believe what I'm seeing, I gotta get this. One time I traveled so far, chasing a star, dodging comets, zooming past quasars. One time I traveled so far, chasing a star, dodging comets, zooming past quasars. One time I traveled so far, chasing a star, zooming past comets, dodging quasars. One time I traveled so far, chasing a star, zooming past comets, dodging quasars. My MC sarcophagus open, sitting at the table are ascendant masters, not descendant pastors, telling me about silent brotherhood mysteries. And Drew Ali conquering the 6 degrees, becoming the logos to reteach histories, to get us off the mental slave trees. Telling me to study the works, not slander from jerks. Conspiring with de facto jurisdictions for perks. Taking de jure paperwork to corporate clerks. Be mindful of dirty Moors throwing dirt on your worth. At that time, up stood one of the turban sages. Created a timeline in space to show the ages of all the galaxies, universal places of existence. Explained from a distance. Inner, under, and overwhelmed realms of persistence. Indoor bright with the sun's light. Moon, wax and wane in my brain, energy gunfights. Indoor bright with sun's light. Moons, wax and wanes in my brain, energy gunfights. One time I travel so far, chasing a star, dodging comets, zooming past quasars. One time I traveled so far, chasing a star, dodging comets, zooming past quasars. One time I traveled so far, chasing a star, zooming past comets, dodging quasars. One time I traveled so far, chasing a star, zooming past comets, dodging quasars.